Maybe you know about the Egyptian pyramids. Well, how about a human pyramid? How about peace that is developed through a pyramid partnership? We're going to find out more about that today on St. Louis in Tune. Welcome to St. Louis in Tune, and thank you for joining us for fresh perspectives on issues and events with experts, community leaders, and everyday people who are driving change and making an impact that shapes our society and world. I'm Arnold Stricker, along with co-host Mark Langston.
I'm the co-host with the most.
Co-host with the most.
Good to be with
If
you.
you were a hostess, you'd be the mostest.
That's it, right? That's what I wanted. That's one of those titles.
Yes,
he, she, co-hostess.
The coast. The co-host of, of the coast.
We're going to add that to the list. Okay.
Here we go. And our return to civility, normally I read those, but our guest had a great one. Our guest, Jessica Henkoff, she is Executive Artistic Director and founder of Circus Harmony. Welcome back, Jessica.
Thank you so much for having me.
So you're going to read our return to civility today.
And here we go. I bought a jump rope. But man, that thing is just a rope. You have to do the jump part yourself.
Oh, is that what I'm supposed to do?
And that was said by Mitch Hedberg.
Jump roping. It's a lot of, I haven't done that in a long time. My knees would not allow me to anymore, pretty much. But it's great physical cardio.
It is.
Exercise.
And that quote I found because our post today on our social media is of some of our flying children jumping.
I saw something on YouTube with a guy with a bunch of dogs. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Of course, everybody sends that to me because I have a dog that makes coffee. So any trick with a dog, I get those.
Really?
I get the fish tricks now because I'm training my fish.
There's about 10, 15 dogs, and he jumps rope with all the dogs, and they all jump.
Yeah.
Everybody jumps.
It's adorable.
And I keep going, they're going to mess up. But they don't mess up.
No, it's always the humans that mess up.
They don't show you the video part that they cut out that they edited.
I know. Go ahead.
You go on the website of Circus Harmony, circusharmony.org, and you can see a human jump rope.
A human jump rope?
Human jump rope.
We take children and use them as the jump ropes.
And it's not as punishment.
No.
It's not a penalty.
Thank you for pointing that out.
It's part of the circus training and the flexibility that is shown. And I'm watching it right now.
And the strength and the trust and the responsibility.
Here it is. I'm on the website right now. So you can see.
We can see that. We can see that. I'll be darned.
Put that up there.
Can I say, Jessica, my granddaughter, Eva, a couple of years ago, she was in your class and we had a chance to watch her perform at the City Museum. Mm-hmm. And it was delightful. So I'm here to tell everyone.
Testimonial.
Yes, it's a testimonial. You need to go and see one of
what's. You need to see it. You need to do it. You need to
experience
support it.
All of the above.
All of the above.
I think so.
And because especially coming up is a very kind of memorable kind of thing from July 26th through August the 9th. It's the Peace Through Pyramids Partnership. And this is the circus in Stuttgart, Germany, and the circus here in St. Louis. Right. And I guess, first of all, explain Peace Through Pyramids, because you've been doing this. You did this with an Israeli group. You did this down in Puerto Rico and another place.
We've done it locally.
Yeah. So explain what that is, and then we'll get into the Stuttgart circus.
Okay. The stuff with the Stuttgarters. So Peace Through Pyramids is bringing together young people from different backgrounds and showing that when you focus on what connects you instead of what divides you, you can create something amazing. And when Circus Harmony first became a nonprofit, one of our very first projects was local, and it was a Peace Through Pyramids partnership between a Muslim temple and a Jewish temple. So the Clara Muhammad School and Central Reform Congregation. And we brought the kids together. We gave them the common language of circus, the common goal to put a show together, and then we performed them in both temples. And much to my surprise, there's a lot of similarities if you look at Jewish law and Muslim law in terms of diet and other things. But the prayers were almost identical the rhythm, the words even. It was really interesting. And that partnership went on for a while. And then at one point, one of the Jewish kids came to me and said, "Can my friend Lindsay join? She's Christian." You can't say, "Nope, no Christians." So it expanded and has continued to expand. And then several years later, I got an email out of the blue from a rabbi in Israel who was doing a project that brought together young Israeli Arab, and Israeli Jewish kids to work together. And they were going to use theater, but they decided to use circus because it's nonverbal and it's about facing your fears and it's about trust. And so he wrote to me, said, "Found you on the internet. Can you tell me about circus, and especially social circus," which is what Circus Harmony is a social circus using circus arts to motivate social change. And we emailed back and forth for a while. And then he said, "Could you come over here and work with our kids, with some of your kids?" And I said, "Absolutely not. It's too dangerous." And left the next day for a social circus conference in Chicago, where I was one of the main speakers. And in the course of that conference, I realized, how can I not do that? So I came back and I emailed him and I said, "Yeah, we'll come. And it'll either be a great news story or a great experience." And it was both. It was both. And we, for 11 years, our kids worked with this Jewish Arab youth circus in Israel. There's a movie about it called Circus Kids, which you can find on the Circus Harmony YouTube channel.
Really?
And there's a book about it called Watch Out for Flying Children, which is Watch Out for Flying Kids is the name of the book. And you can find that. We did a presentation at the Library of Congress for the National Book Festival.
Wow.
So there is that. And then for a number of reasons, that their school folded. And we started a partnership with a Puerto Rican social circus school after Hurricane Maria in terms of helping them recover. And we went to Puerto Rico, put a show together, and went to all these still hurricane ravaged many months later places and brought the joy of circus. And then the pandemic hit and their school is just getting back on its feet. And during the pandemic in 2020, it happened to be the 60th anniversary of Stuttgart and St. Louis being sister cities. So the local Stuttgart St. Louis sister city group asked if we would do something with a circus school in Stuttgart, which we did over the internet because it was the middle of lockdowns kept happening, literally. And we would meet online. It was early in the morning for us, late at night for them. And the kids did workshops together online, put acts together online, and then went out into iconic parts of the two cities and filmed these acts. And then we married them together. And that video is Sister City Circus. And you can see that on our YouTube channel. And then last summer, and we always talked about, yes, when this is all over, we'll meet in person. And last summer we did. We took a group of Circus Harmony students to Stuttgart, put a show together with the kids from Circus Circuli is the name of their circus, CIRCULI. And we toured around Stuttgart and went down to Lake Bodensee. And then this summer, they are coming here. And they're coming here, as you mentioned, July 26th to August 9th. We will meet and put a new show together and then be performing it in our home, which is City Museum, but also around the city. And we will be doing the Cardinals game will be in Ballpark Village on Monday, and the 29th. I have to do this in my head. And then we're going to throw out the first pitch in some circusy way. Not sure how. We did that with the Puerto Ricans. With the Puerto Ricans, we did it the first pitch from the top of a 3-man high pyramid. You were talking about pyramids. So we got to do something.
Yes, you do.
And then we will also be as far afield as we'll be at Trout Lodge in DeSoto, YMCA's Trout Lodge, because we'll bring them down there and we'll be doing a show down there, and then everything in between. We are still looking for people who want to book us. You can pay us in money or you can pay us in food. We will juggle and jump rope and do other things for food. Both is always more than acceptable, because takes a lot to feed these flying children.
Mhm.
So also if any restaurant people out there want to offer us a
Yeah.
meal for
Mhm.
30 people, or buy us all ice cream or
Yeah.
anything you can think of. I am very excited. We are partnering with Philadelphia Pretzels,
Okay.
which has a new
Hmm.
store in South County, and they're going to be our official pretzel people.
The official pretzel of the flying kids.
Well, and
Why not?
coincidentally, totally coincidentally, they starting on or around July 26th are the official pretzel of City Museum.
Really?
That happened totally separate.
Wow.
Get
I
outta
happened to
here.
call them about this, and they're like, "Oh, did you know that?" And I'm like, "No, not at all."
Are they Bavarian pretzels so they can bring
They're
the Stuttgart?
Philadelphia pretzels,
Oh,
which is. Do you know what a Philadelphia pretzel is?
It's
No,
it's a
Jessica.
lovely pretzel.
Of course. What pretzel is not? But it refers to the shape of the pretzel.
Is it in the heart?
Oh, tell us more.
No,
Tell
but
us
it will
more.
warm your heart. It's
Aw.
more like a figure 8 or the number 8, but squared, or
I didn't know
like-
that.
I've seen pretzels
Yes,
like
that's
that.
a Philadelphia one.
No
and
kidding.
In the
Okay.
early 1800s,
Mhm.
German immigrants came. In fact, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name off the top of my head. There was one guy who was like the first pretzel street vendor.
Mhm.
And so this is now a company that makes those shaped pretzels. And,
Okay.
we have Gus's here and we have regular
Right,
pretzel,
right,
what we
right.
consider the regular 3
Whatever
circles
that thing is.
together pretzel. But we're going to take the kids out there and they're going to get to make their own pretzels.
Oh,
Because when we were in Germany, every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, there were soft pretzels and there was Nutella.
Oh,
And-
Nutella.
oh.
So we
Ooh.
already have 2
Really?
Yes.
6-pound tubs of Nutella that have been
Oh.
donated. But I am telling you, that's not going to be enough.
No.
So if anybody else wants to donate Nutella,
yes.
they go through a lot of Nutella, these flying children. But yeah, that's happening.
I don't think I've
Wow.
ever seen a Philadelphia pretzel. I'm looking at them online now.
Right?
Yeah. No, I've seen them before.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
didn't know about
Yeah.
it.
I like those
I've seen a couple.
elongated shapes.
Mhm.
That's easy for dipping. And I can see the dipping
Right.
in the Nutella.
Right.
I just eat the Nutella by itself, though. Too.
Do you now?
Oh,
I
absolutely.
have a coach who got one of those tubs for Christmas and finished it by New Year's.
It's a finisher.
is that all?
Finisher.
Is that all?
Right.
It
She
took
might
so
have
long.
finished- right.
Now, I don't know where
We
to
have
begin
gone
I know.
with all
So
of
we
that.
could go back to the jump rope. Part of why
There
I
you
found
go.
that jump rope quote
Uh-huh.
is because we post every day on the socials, and
Mhm.
today's social media is us doing some jump rope tricks. Not the human jump rope, by the way, but actually
Right.
jumping in a rope like,
Hmm.
in quotes, normal people. But the reason we're doing that is because the Germans have a jump rope act, and we will certainly have, as one of the acts we put together for the show, a big jump rope act, which will include the human jump rope, but we do that all the time. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
needed to practice the regular jump
So
rope.
do they have? Does each circus have kind of like their what I would call like their trademark things, or their like you guys I know do a lot of tumbling.
Yeah, the
you-
partner acrobatics
you-
is our
you know,
trademark.
Okay, and so theirs is kind of like the jump rope kind of deal.
I don't know that they have a trademark quite as much as ours. Their whole format and their whole school is different. But when we worked together last year, the acts that we had were jump rope. We did a large partner acrobatic act. We did a juggling act, and we did a hula hooping act.
Okay.
And so we know that we will do those same acts, but we want to add to it and make it better and different. And then when we're at City Museum, we will do an aerial act as well, but that's not quite as
Okay.
portable.
Now, you may or may not know the answer to this question. When you get in touch with these groups in other countries, like in Israel and Puerto Rico and in Germany, do you know why those circuses were started? Were they started very similar to why you started Circus Harmony here in St. Louis?
So it's interesting. There are so many circuses in America. It's a growing phenomenon. This circus school is a growing phenomenon. Even social circuses like ours, there are more of those,
Mhm.
and around the world as well. But Germany, of all the countries, Germany, there is 1 or 2, it seems, circus schools per city or town. Everybody has one.
Wow.
For a number of years, we've been getting youth circus interns from Germany who are taking their gap year. And they
Hmm.
come and they work with us for a year. And they've been from everywhere because everybody has a circus, and
Hmm.
some towns have
Hmm.
several circuses.
Really?
It's also a very big activity with Waldorf schools.
Mhm.
And so the Waldorf schools, which started
Mhm.
in Germany. Some of them have their own tents. So this Circus Circuli, who we partner with, they have their own little place, which is on a farm. So there's also farm animals walking around. I wanted to train the goats, but they were not interested in being trained.
That's a bad thing to do.
Okay, wait, get that horse out of here. Okay, sorry.
Oh,
Okay, sorry.
Anyway, and so they have this
Anyway, yeah.
their own place with their own tent. But in the winter, because it does get wintry there, they go into schools. So they're all different. Probably in the world, the closest to what we do is Zip Zap Circus, which is in South Africa,
Okay.
of all places. But they really focus on bringing together different kids and doing circus, and to a high level. Because what's different about Circus Harmony is we are first and foremost a social circus, building character and individuals, building bridges between communities, promoting social change.
Mhm.
But we also offer recreational classes for all ages. 3 to our oldest was 93 and did trapeze. Rest in peace, Bunny Elizabeth Herring. Her memory is such a blessing. She came to me at 70 and was still doing trapeze into her 90s.
Wow.
So you're never too old to run away and join the circus. She passed away just this spring.
Bless her heart.
Yeah.
But we are also evolved into a pre-professional circus school because our kids just got so good. And then they started getting into École Nationale de Cirque, the circus college in Montreal, which is harder to get into than Harvard or Yale.
Wow.
And we have a number of graduates from that and from École de Cirque de Quebec. In fact, one of our seniors, Anna Lair, is going there. She leaves right after the Germans do to go to Canada and performing around the world. Right now, I'm sitting here. We have 2 young men, Melvin Diggs and Terrence T. Rock Robinson, are in Australia with Cirque du Soleil. Chauncey Croner and Finn McNamee do NBA halftime shows. And that's only when Finn can get away from his full-time schooling at Wash U, where he has a full ride as a mechanical engineer.
Oh my.
And actually, they do the halftime shows, but right now, this second, what time is it? Yep, they're still there. Right now, this second, they are teaching at Cherokee Rec Centers, the 2 of them for us. And if you went to Circus Flora this year, they were the opening act. If you went to Circus Flora, you would have seen not only us and Chauncey and Finn, but another alumni, Claire Walenda, who walks wire with the Flying Walendas. We have Kellen Quinn is at Caesar's Palace in Atlantic City in a show called The Hook. His brother Keaton, Hentoff Killian, is on Broadway with Water for Elephants. They were nominated for 7 Tonys, so he was on the Tony Awards, televised on the Tony Awards. Sydney I. King Bateman went to ENC, joined Cirque du Soleil, and then quit and joined the WWE. And Mazel Tov, congratulations to Sydney, who just had a daughter born late last night.
Aw.
So that's pretty
Congratulations.
exciting. Next
Yeah.
generation, potentially, of flying children. So we have this pre-professional program and kids performing all over. Oh, Kyron and Oliver, who were with Seven Fingers, and now Kyron is currently in Europe with Gravity and Other Myths is the name of an Australian company. And Oliver just got a new partner, and I'm very excited about the new act that he is creating. And you just never know where the flying children will land, but you can see them now. In fact, today
Right.
at 12 and 2, one of our performers, Lila Lawless, who is very old, she's 13, and this is doing her one-woman show. This is her second one-woman show.
Whoa.
The first one was about what do I want to be when I grow up, and each thing was an act. Like if I were a CEO, and then she came out with an attaché case full of money and climbed 3 chairs and did a handstand on top, things like that. But her second show, the one she's doing now, she really thought about it, and she looked at doing something about the 4 seasons, and then she settled on, this show is about joy. This show is just about bringing joy. So you can see her today at 12 and 2 in our Ring at City Museum. And that's what circus does. It brings joy. It brings people together. It crosses cultures and all sorts of boundaries. And one of our other projects is that we started something called Architecture and Acrobats, where we tell the stories of architecturally insignificant sites in St. Louis through circus arts. So the day the Germans are coming, which is July 26th,
The
that-
Germans are coming. The Germans are coming.
No, yeah, I have not been using that as a tagline. It has crossed my
I
mind.
bet, I
Seemed
know.
not.
We're
Leave it to
talking about
Arnold.
the circus students from Stuttgart,
Yes.
folks.
Yes. But
Ay,
the day
ay,
that the Circus Circuli is coming from
There
the
you go.
St. Louis
Circus
sister city of
Circulis.
It's coming.
Stuttgart,
Circus
the day they are coming, that night, our very first Architecture and Acrobats film, which is about Fairground and O'Fallon Parks, will be part of Cinema St. Louis's St. Louis Filmmakers Festival.
This is a big deal.
This is a
It
big
is
deal.
big.
I'm sitting there going, I
Yeah.
can't believe what
Where's
she's
that up-
telling us.
Where's the pistachio gallery, folks?
Wow.
Pistachios, you should be
Wow.
applauding at this time.
Wow.
Pistachios.
And she's here.
Right. She should be at one of, we have 3 camps going right now
Yeah.
at City Museum, 5 at different rec centers, because we have this
Mhm.
partnership with the rec centers. Where Finn and Chauncey are, the Cherokee Rec Center,
Mhm.
we've put together a performance troupe. They're going to tour around to the other rec centers. And then we're also doing a camp for Beyond Housing and another camp at the Legacy Center. And we have one coming up for St. Louis Public Libraries. And I'm supposed to be working on the other films because this Architecture and Acrobats is a series. But people really should go to the High Point. It's in the, they have different sections of shorts. It's in the section about St. Louis and Alternative View. And the stories of Fairground and O'Fallon Parks, like how many people drive down Grand and they see
Uh-huh.
that castle?
Yes.
Why is there a castle there? They
yes.
don't know.
Yes.
How many people know there's a heron rookery in O'Fallon Park in North St. Louis? Wow.
There's a what?
A heron, white birds, big
Oh, yeah,
white
yeah.
birds,
Okay.
rookery where they all have their little babies.
Aw.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It is.
And then how many people know about, and this some people do, but it's amazing how many people do not. In Fairground Parks, there was a swimming pool,
Yep.
a 10,000
huge
person
swimming pool.
swimming pool.
Yeah.
And at that time, the law of the land was that you could no longer have segregated whites only
Right.
swimming pools. But in St. Louis, because we are special here, they said, no, we don't follow the law. We follow community standards. And someone said, oh, no, you really have to follow the law.
Good.
And so they integrated it and started a race riot.
Right.
And then eventually what happened was the whole pool was filled
They
in.
shut it down.
So if you go to Fairground Park, and we looked, you don't know where it was.
Uh-huh.
We did the story we told where we think it was. And that act that we did for that was like an acrobatic dance. There is a smaller municipal pool now that is there that finally reopened after 2 years because somebody had stolen all the copper pipes.
Go figure.
And so last summer the kids had nowhere to swim.
Aw.
But anyway, we tell the story of that pool and also just the general stories of those 2 parks and how they were such gathering places. And getting back to
Mhm.
the castle,
Uh-huh.
that castle is just the front. It is the original wall from what was the bear pits of the first St. Louis Zoo.
Right.
And in doing my history, I am near positive when the zoo moved, they sold some of the animals. It says that they sold them to circuses.
Wow.
And there was a circus. Hagenbach Wallace was here at that time.
Hmm.
My guess is that's where the bears went, but I couldn't find a bill of sale or anything.
Aw.
But that castle was the bear pits.
Yeah.
And we do a beautiful partner acrobatic act in front of it because partner acrobatics is architectural. Pyramids
Right.
come
Right.
to mind, all sorts of other architectural terms. And so it's a really beautiful film. A lot of people don't know the boathouse that's in Forest Park where
Mhm.
everybody goes.
Mhm.
It has a sister boathouse in
Where?
O'Fallon Park,
No.
identical,
Cut it out.
not filled with water, not maintained in the same way, although recently repainted, and the colors for the paint were chosen by local middle school. It's stunningly beautiful.
Hmm.
I don't know what it would take for it to become a boathouse again and have water and boats there, but
Carondelet Park
Yeah,
has
there's
a
another
very
one.
similar boathouse. And even at Fairgrounds, I
Is
believe there
that
was
right?
a racetrack at Fairgrounds. at one
horse
time.
racing was huge. It
Right.
was and there's a name for it, and it's not in my head at the moment. There was a 3-story chicken house because chickens and horses were a big deal.
Where's that horse?
It was,
Okay.
there you go. But so we touch on all the history of these 2 parks. And then just because we always overdo it at Circus Harmony, We also tell the story of the water tower on Grand, that iconic white
Right.
water
Mhm.
tower.
Right.
Why is it called a water tower?
Right.
Clearly, there's no water in it,
No.
but we tell the
But
story
there
of
was.
that.
Matter of fact, St. Louis has 3 of the 5 existing water
Existing.
towers in the United States.
Mhm.
There's the one down on the South Compton, and then there's 2
Yep.
up north on Grand.
Yep.
Right.
Yep, the Bissell.
Right.
Yep.
So we have 3 of the 5
Where are
existing
the other
water.
2?
I think
No.
Chicago has one,
Oh,
and I think there's I don't remember where the other one is.
I
Okay.
only studied the ones here.
Right.
And the act that we do in front of the water tower is a tower of chairs and someone doing handstands on top of the chairs.
Well, good for us for keeping those water towers.
Yeah, because they're really stunning, but
they are.
we don't teach about them.
Nope.
No, they are in disrepair, and it's
Yes.
important that, as we talked about
Mm-hmm.
previously, that the things be kept up. There's Milwaukee, New York, Chicago, and Louisville
Oh, interesting.
have the other one. There's 7. There's 7 remaining.
But
Well,
we
We
have
have 3 of them.
That's pretty good, though.
And
That's
you
really
can
good.
see one of them in the film Architecture and Acrobats on Friday, July 26th
At the High Point
the-
Theater,
Yes,
as part of the
exactly.
St. Louis Filmmakers
7:30
Showcase.
p.m.
Yeah.
So we're going to come back. This is Arnold Stricker with Mark Langston of St. Louis in Tune. We're going to talk more about Circus Harmony with Jessica Hentoff. We'll be right back. The United States has a strong tradition of welcoming newcomers and refugees. The Welcome Corps is a new service opportunity for Americans inspired to welcome those seeking freedom and safety, and in turn help strengthen their own communities. Welcome Corps is a public-private partnership that is inspired by what Americans represent to so many around the world, a beacon of hope and refuge. All it takes is a helping hand. Are you ready to learn more? Contact the International Institute of St. Louis at info@iistl.org or call 314-773-9090. That's info@iistl.org or call 314-773-9090. This is Arnold Stricker of St. Louis in Tune on behalf of the Dred Scott Heritage Foundation. In 1857, the Dred Scott decision was a major legal event and catalyst that contributed to the Civil War. The decision declared that Dred Scott could not be free because he was not a citizen. The 14th Amendment, also called the Dred Scott Amendment, granted citizenship to all born or naturalized here in our country and was intended to overturn the U.S. Supreme Court decision on July 9, 1868. The Dred Scott Heritage Foundation is requesting a commemorative stamp to be issued from the U.S. Postal Service to recognize and remember the heritage of this amendment by issuing a stamp with the likeness of the man Dred Scott. But we need your support and the support of thousands of people who would like to see this happen. To achieve this goal, we ask you to download, sign, and share the one-page petition with others. To find the petition, please go to dredscottlives.org and click on the Dred Scott Petition Drive on the right side of the page. On behalf of the Dred Scott Heritage Foundation, this has been Arnold Stricker of St. Louis in Tune.
Where's that horse?
I have a question. Where's that music from?
That music is from Bob Berthasell.
Mm.
Keep going.
Bob Berthasell is the composer and performer of that music. And when you try to find a theme song, this is actually, to be honest with you, this is just the musical portion. There are words that go along with this song.
Is that right?
And
Goes
I
on
wanted
for
to
2
find
minutes.
something that would grab people's attention, that I liked musically, that was like a little kick, and tap my foot to that. And I'm really excited about that. I found this song.
It's great.
And thanks to Bob Berthasell.
And is he local?
No, he's not. He's, I think he's in New York, but I don't want to put that in the wrong way.
Let's talk for a second about the music of Architecture and Acrobats.
Let's talk about the
let's
music of,
do.
of the Architects and Acrobats, which is at the High Point, July 26th, part of the St. Louis Filmmakers Showcase. And folks, you got to see that, but you also have to make sure that between July 26th and August 9th that you catch the Peace Through Pyramids partnership, and that's at City Museum and other sites to be announced.
And we will put those sites
On the
we're-
website.
Yes, it is a Peace Through Pyramids partnership. We're going to probably call it the Sister City Circus
Mhm.
because it's with our sister city, Stuttgart, and their resident youth circus, Circus Circuli.
I wanted to mention circusharmony.org, folks, is the website. I wanted to say, Jessica, that the things that you are doing through the Circus Harmony in working with kids around the metropolitan area is something parents and educators you need to be aware of, because there's a lot of things that are going on in the city, and it's like, well, what are my kids going to do during the summertime? This is a perfect venue if you live in a neighborhood where Circus Harmony is putting resident acrobats and teachers to help kids learn how to do some kinds of things. It's a great thing. They're just not learning physical activity or what's the technique of this. They're learning how to work together. They're learning how to get together socially. They're learning how to talk to each other without implementing violence or anything like
Right.
that. I want to compliment you on that, and the association for what you're doing, Circus Harmony, because it's great work here in the metropolitan area.
Thank you. That's why we call it Circus Teaches the Art of Life. And that's why the social part of social circus is so important to us.
And the word
And-
harmony,
Yes.
when you have two or more pitches or tones together, which creates harmony and not dissonance.
He gets it. He gets it.
Wow.
Absolutely right. And right now you can be in a camp where you can pay to be in the circus camp at City
Mhm.
Museum. We do have scholarships available always. Application is online.
Mhm.
But the camps that we're doing at the rec center and for some of our other partners are free. So you can always run away and join the circus,
Now, you were mentioning the music portion.
right? I was going to talk about the music in Architecture and Acrobats is from local artists.
Mhm.
The St. Louis Taiko Drummers
Okay.
are on there. Jeffrey Carter, who was our resident composer for a while. And also, now I'm like freezing and I know the
That's
other
all right.
music that's there.
You're buffering.
I'm buffering. Yeah,
Ooh. That's
my
that
new
works
one,
well
Buffering,
on.
buffering. Do you buffer
live.
much? Okay.
I do,
Okay.
increasingly so. So we
Me
have,
too.
but it's different music and it's local artists, and that will come back to me. I know that for the next film,
Mhm.
which is about Fort Bellefontaine, which if you have never been up there
Mhm.
is stunningly beautiful.
Yes.
The music for that is all from Sandy Weltman,
Mm.
who is a local.
I think Sandy Weltman is a graduate of University City High School.
Wow.
I
It's very
believe so.
possible, and he plays
Yeah.
harmonica and banjo and.
Oh, he is. He's
Many
the
other-
harmonica guy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He's
He
actually
is
going to be on the show.
absolutely
He's in
the-
our class.
Really?
Yes, he's going to
that's
be on
so
the show.
funny.
I've talked to him.
No.
Yes, he's
So
Mr.
tell him
Harmonica
I'm
for the United
finally
States.
finishing the editing. Movies are a lot harder than live entertainment. I
To
have
edit?
to say,
Yeah.
just it takes longer, and the attention to detail, which I need to thank people like. Well, you have to thank for all of our work because we are a nonprofit, and we think individuals contribute to what we do, but also for Architecture and Acrobats, this particular film, PNC Arts of Live, Arts and Education Council of St. Louis, the Psi Foundation of St. Louis, Trio Foundation of St. Louis. It is expensive to make a movie, and individuals support our work. And it's the same with Peace Through Pyramids, running a nonprofit.
Mhm.
There's all that. But like when you're making a movie, just marrying everything and the narrative, and it has to go with the clips, and you need to get some historical photos. It's a lot, and it's a lot of research.
Mhm.
But people
I had to
can
hook
see
her
it
up with
all.
Nene Harris.
Ooh.
Who's that?
Nene is like a St. Louis historian. She's written, I think, 8 or 9 books.
Oh, and let's invite her to see the screening, and then she can help with
Yeah,
the others.
she goes down to the library, and she's been on the show several times. Mark, you
Yeah.
remember Nene?
Nene, yeah.
She'd be a good contact.
She
Yeah.
would be.
Sounds like.
Yeah.
We're connectors.
Yeah.
connect
Yes,
people
but no,
together.
but that's why
We
that's
network
why we're
here.
all here to be bridges.
That's right.
Wow.
And it's also and I think I was talking about this one time when I was here. It's the Jewish concept of tikkun olam, that the
Mhm.
world is broken and we're here to repair it.
Mhm.
And you repair it or build the bridge with what you have: radio, circus,
Mhm.
science, music, medicine, whatever. And speaking of science, we also have a circus science program
Mm.
that we take into schools.
Oh.
We're at Ames Elementary School. We're at Atlas Charter Public School. But it's a great way for kids to learn science if they're doing something experiential. Because
You-
what do you learn? What do you remember about seventh grade
Right.
science? The volcano. So if you talk about centripetal force, it's not the same as hula hooping, for
Right.
example.
Right.
You know, gravity, we're going to have you experience it. You do it every day, but it's different when you're really working
Right.
with it.
Mhm.
So
The fact
circus
that
science.
you have a mechanical engineer who's also a circus performer. I'm thinking like he's looking up at the trapeze, like, okay, I
Right.
think that'll work, you know,
Yeah.
or
He does
he's got
work
the
at things
physics
like-
down about
Yes.
we need to jump right here, you know.
Right. And was he better at one because of the other, or at the other because of the one?
It's a
knows?
great marriage, mechanical engineering and
Oh,
being
yeah.
a circus performer.
Oh, yeah.
I'm waiting for him to design our building. We did find a building, but nobody has given us $4 million yet. But if any of your listeners are out there,
Oh,
And-
They're looking for like a 39-foot, 40-foot ceiling.
exactly right. And we
right?
found this perfect church because we need that height for the flying trapeze.
Right.
But we should get back to what's happening now.
Okay. Well, I want to ask you a couple questions.
We're more likely to get a donation of food, of a
Mhm.
meal, than probably
$4 million.
$4 million.
Do
But
you-
anything in between, we will
Right.
take anything.
Yeah.
And you could also go over the $4 million. I would not be salty,
That's
and we'll
right.
name
I know.
things after you.
Yeah, there you go.
And you'll get free flying trapeze lessons
Yeah.
for life.
Yeah, I'm still
That'd
set
be-
up for that.
I know.
You know,
All
Call-
that
I didn't
jump
donate.
roping.
I didn't donate $4 million.
I say call the Danforths right now.
Right. The Danforth Foundation.
Somebody.
They would like the circus sign.
Yeah, I think they would.
Now I know
they're missing the boat. That's what I'm telling you.
they're missing
Yeah.
the trapeze.
Okay, they're missing something.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I know Jessica is like a historian of circus performers,
Oh, you're gonna
but
ask
I'm going
me
to
a
test her on
question.
some of
Oh,
these
no.
things. So
Is that-
I have 8 legendary circus performers.
Wow.
Oh dear. Okay.
Okay. So and if you don't know them, that's okay. I think I knew one.
Yes, but I should know more than that.
Well,
know.
you know, we'll see. Isaac Van Hamburg.
There was a Van Hamburg circus in America.
He's kind of his name is the Great Lion Tamer.
He was a wild animal trainer. Yeah.
Mhm. He was, and I'm just gonna. This is the stuff that I have. 19th
I
century.
can see the poster.
His
of
act
Van
was
Hamburg.
renowned for its extreme daring. He'd enter
Stop.
the cage in ancient Roman garb. And he
Yeah.
would taunt his collections of lions, tigers, and leopards and force them to stand on his shoulders and let him ride on their backs. He didn't deal with the animals very kindly.
What?
Animal presentation has changed over the years.
Right.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, look up Show Me Tigers. There's a Missouri guy. His first name is
Kind of
Ryan.
like the tiger guy from
no,
what's the
no,
series?
stop. That has hurt our industry irreparably, perhaps. But
Okay.
keep going.
All
That-
right, so here's another
Van Hamburg.
Dan Rice, the king
oh,
of
Dan
American
Rice
clowns.
was also the model for Uncle Sam
Oh, see?
because in those days, clowns were verbal, and he did a lot of political commentary. But his outfit was red and white striped, and also how he looked became the model for Uncle Sam.
We have a lot of
Dan
clowns
Rice.
who are
Never knew
politicians
that. I
now.
had never.
No,
Or the
stop
other way.
insulting
Oh,
clowns.
excuse me, we have a lot of politicians who are clowns.
We wish we had politicians who were clowns. We wish that our government worked like a circus so that everybody was working together
There
and
you-
supporting each
You are
other
correct.
and doing something
I
amazing.
remember the last time you were on,
right.
we talked
this is a
about that.
thing.
You are
All
correct.
people-
I apologize.
Who-
I
what is it,
apologize to all those
CNN?
clowns out there. I
Yes.
insulted you.
CNN has a show called The Circus. I was all excited about it, but it's about politics.
Uh,
And I think it was Van Jones did a public apology to clowns for just this
well,
sort
I
of thing.
apologize to the clowns out there for all the
Okay,
politicians.
next question.
Okay. Actually, Dan Rice performed. He was making $1,000 a week
Right, he was incredibly
back
well
in the
paid,
1860s.
right? As
Really?
a clown.
Is
Okay,
it?
here's one everybody should know. Annie Oakley.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
but do you know why they call the ticket an Annie Oakley? If you get a comp ticket, it often has a hole. Well, they
Right.
don't have paper tickets anymore, but they,
they
would
did.
have a
They
hole.
had a hole in it for a promo or
Yes,
whatever.
and they called it Annie Oakley because she was such
She-
a great sharpshooter.
She would shoot. yeah.
You'd throw up cards and she'd shoot the cards. Yep.
Right.
And she toured for many, many years
Right.
with
Buffalo Bill.
Bill's Wild West
Right.
show.
Her trick included hitting the edge of a playing card from 30 paces, snuffing out a candle with a bullet, blasting targets while riding a bike, and even shooting a lit cigarette from her husband's lips.
Ay, ay, ay.
But do you know her real name?
No.
I was like, holy smokes. Here we go.
Holy smokes.
This
was
is
her
this
name?
is trivia.
Okay.
Phoebe Ann Moses
Phoebe Ann Moses.
was Annie Oakley. Okay, how about this one? I love this one. Jules Leotard.
I know this one.
Do you?
So
The
you know what
daring
a
young man on the
leotard is.
flying
I know what I
trapeze.
was just gonna. The first thing came to mind was leotard.
Right.
Right.
And he invented that so
Right.
that when he was doing flying trapeze, his big billowy shirt from those days wouldn't go over his head.
So he developed the leotard,
Mhm.
I like this.
which was the forerunner of the unitard.
the unitard.
Yeah, it's like one piecer.
It goes from your neck to your ankles.
I'm learning things all the time on this show.
He was the son of a gymnasium owner, practiced
Mhm.
the high flying stunt over his family's swimming pool before unveiling it in 1859 at the Cirque Napoleon in Paris. His career was tragically cut short after he died of disease at the age of 28.
Ooh.
He didn't die from falling down,
Nope.
How about, is it Zazel or Zazzle?
Zazzle was
The
the,
human
first human
projectile.
cannonball, and
Yeah.
she was only 14. And then there were a bunch of copycat Zazzles. Because I did a lot of cannon research because my daughter Eliana, who is the general manager now at Circus Harmony, was the youngest female human cannonball on Ringling
Oh
at the age
my.
of 20 and was the first Jewish human cannonball
Wow.
that we can find record of. And I've talked to circus historians.
Wow.
But Zazzle, yeah, she was
That-
amazing.
That's a scary. To me, that's scary. You get in a cannon and they shoot you,
Well,
and you hope that the net is in the right spot.
Yes, because
that's part of that civil engineering
The
and mechanical
physics, if you're-
engineering.
because when they first somebody called me and said Ringling is looking for an American female aerialist who wants to get shot out of a cannon, and Eliana is all those things.
I want to go.
And I asked her, "Do you
You
want to get
asked
shot
him.
out of a cannon?" And she said, "Because we have a number of friends who get shot out of cannons or have." She said, "I'm bad at math." That was her answer. And I said, "I'm sure there's a formula.
Right.
Somebody will help you with the math. The question is, do you want to get in the cannon
Yeah.
and get shot out?"
Yeah.
And then after doing it for a while, she said, "Yeah, but anybody could do it." I'm like, not
No.
more than
No.
once, first of all,
No,
and
no.
not many people would get in
No,
it
no.
because there is no safe way to learn.
No.
You learn how to fall in the net
Right.
from a stationary place, but to get shot out, you can't put a safety belt. There is no,
Right.
you are told what to do. And if you don't do it, that's a really big
Yeah.
problem.
So
Yeah.
original name is Rosa Richter.
Mhm.
Rosa Richter. And the cannon is coiled springs attached to a foot platform, and the springs
At that
propelled
time. Yeah.
her out of the barrel into a waiting safety net, and a worker would set off a gunpowder charge to recreate the look and sound of a cannon shot.
Oh,
Right.
I never
the
knew that.
sound is always fake and the flash
I
of
didn't
fire.
know any of this.
But there are a lot of different mechanisms now,
Mm-hmm.
and they are all very proprietary to whatever
How
family has
far
the cannon.
Are you generally shot?
You start shorter,
Uh-huh.
and then I think she got up to 100 feet on it. She was from
100
one ring
feet?
to
Oh
another.
my
I mean,
gosh.
Wow.
it's far, and
Oh.
it's
That's scary.
Yeah. How about
imagine being her mother and watching her.
And she
Even
said
though I
that-
knew
Yeah.
she was well trained.
And she said anybody can do this. Yeah. No.
But you know people like that. If she can do it, she just doesn't realize that it's
It's a gift.
hard. Yes.
Yeah.
And she is also a very gifted teacher. She's
Right.
good at a lot of schedules, dealing with children who can be challenging.
Mm.
And so she thinks that's easy. It is not easy, and not everybody
No.
can
Yeah,
do
what'd
it.
you do in your summer
No.
vacation? Shot out of a cannon about 15 times.
Gosh, I know it.
Charles Blondin, the great Blondin.
Blondini
Blondine, there we go.
walked wire across Niagara Falls. But there were two competing guys. It was Blondini and this other guy. And they were like, well, what can I do that's better? So one of them went out there with a washing machine and washed clothes.
Yeah.
One of them was cooking pancakes on the wire over Niagara Falls. One of them took his manager out there on a wheelbarrow. And so the crowds were going from one side to the other. It was insane, insane stuff.
Insane is a good way to put it.
1,300 feet long.
It's insane.
Was the
Right,
rope.
because and
It
to
is
make it
ins-
tight enough to do all that.
160 feet above the water.
Right.
Right, and if you mess that up too, it's problematic.
Oh,
Hey, you don't
yeah.
have a barrel to get in.
No.
Not to mention to carry the washing machine out there, or the
What's
stove
wrong
or
with
whatever.
people?
Wow. What are they
Yeah.
thinking?
That was actually the forerunner of.
America's Got Talent.
I was thinking of, everybody wanting to stand and look at what I'm doing with their phone.
Right.
What's that? TikTok.
Mm.
If they had TikTok,
They
would
would have
fallen in
had
the
a
water.
following.
Yeah.
Wow.
How about Mae Worth, the world's greatest bareback
Oh,
rider?
She was amazing, and she was from Australia,
Mhm.
and she was an amazing. Yep, there you go.
That
We
darn
keep-
horse.
yeah. She
I
was,
can't believe she perfected a trick, Mark, where she did somersaults from one moving horse to another.
Yeah.
And if you were at Circus Flora, the daring horseman Caleb does that trick, but there aren't a lot of people who do that trick anymore. There are very few bareback acts because the floor, you need a very specific floor for horses to run around. Do you know why a circus ring is 42 feet?
No.
You do. You must.
I
No.
I'm
don't.
trying to think because
Arnold's the smart one here. He probably.
Play the horse thing again,
Okay, wait a minute.
because that is the right circumference to be able to stand on the back of a galloping horse.
Okay, there you go.
42 feet. So
Okay.
that's the standard size,
Mhm.
even though there are very few bareback acts.
Yeah, she would leap from the ground onto the back of a galloping stallion, sometimes while blindfolded and wearing heavy baskets on her feet.
Wow.
Right?
She did it. That's great.
Baskets.
Yep. Circus women are amazing.
How about Lillian Leitzel, the queen of aerial gymnasts?
She was, and she was most famous for her one-arm plonges, where she hung by one arm and spun like these giant circles around the one arm, and the audience would count. And she, I think, 142 might have been her record. She was married to a flying trapeze artist who perfected the triple, Alfredo Cadona. But Lillian died not because she fell from an error, but because there was a crystallization in the swivel, and the swivel broke, and she fell and died.
No.
Well, let me ask you, how do people do the hair thing or the teeth thing?
Yeah.
You
So-
know, I got my teeth are bad enough, to chew some nuts or
Yeah.
something
Both
like that
it's
to flip
just-
around with,
Pain tolerance, and
Mhm.
with the teeth thing, you have to have a good mouthpiece, obviously. And there was Amadeus and Ruby were the couple that were doing that at Circus Flora. Right now, they're in Texas working at the Lone Star Circus. But that's been around for years and years. And there was a woman who her mouthpiece was made out of rubber, like Indian rubber back in the day. And she would go up and hold men hanging from her mouth. And she went up in a hot air balloon and would hang by her teeth. And the balloon like got loose and was leaving. So she let go and fell and broke her leg, but she went on to work. And I'm trying to remember her name. I can't. But the hair hang, one of our coaches and guest performers, one of our teaching artists, because a lot of our artists also do shows, is Laura Lippert, who is a local hairalist. She hangs by her hair. She also spins things by her hair. She'll put chairs or pumpkins or whatever and hang by her braids and spin them. But
I could never
She
hang
will
by
be
my hair,
back.
Mark.
No,
she
she's
has
a
been on tour.
hairalist.
We made that term up.
Okay, all right. I'm just going, wait a minute. That's the
But
word
she'll be
for the
back.
day is
She's a
hairalist.
hairalist. She's been touring, and she will be back actually the end of this month, and we'll be back performing in our ring and teaching.
Wow.
More hairial in this.
And hair hang, neither of you, I think, could do it, but it's very important how you braid it.
Mm.
And
I
then,
can
of
imagine.
course,
Oh, yeah.
the rigging has to
Right.
be secure. There was a terrible, terrible tragedy.
Do most
was
of
'cause
those
the rigging
individuals who do that, they check the rigging themselves personally? Or do
I
they
always
trust
did.
them? I would
Oh,
too.
yeah.
I'd be like, I'm not
Because
trust
I was
anybody
an
else.
aerialist, not a hairalist.
Okay.
And I always did.
Yeah.
You need to trust yourself
Right.
and your own training, your partner, if you have a partner, your rigging, whatever it's made of, and whoever rigs it.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do people,
Circus teaches trust and responsibility. That's what we say.
I
Yeah.
know.
No kidding.
Do people
No
really,
kidding.
really realize what goes into some of these acts? It's amazing.
No,
Mhm.
and if you do something like train hair hanging wrong, you can damage your scalp.
I bet. Oh,
You rip your hair all out.
right.
Well,
Can you imagine getting up
separate
there?
It's a
No,
different
wait a minute. Let
kind
me
of
put my
a-
dentures in first
Oh
before we do
my
this.
gosh. I
You
don't know
know,
what to tell you
gosh.
about him. I'm so sorry about this, Jessica. Just apologize.
You
That's
know
all
what
I can
mom's
do.
Mabley could do it.
Oh, no.
Holding.
different act.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
how do you have these just at your
I
fingertips?
don't know where they come from.
That's a talent.
Good thing I have some talent
Yes.
to do something.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
I pass?
I am just amazed at, I'm watching the human, I can't even
Leona
get it out.
Dare. Leona Dare is the woman. And then
She's having fun, and she
She's-
gets down and she's like this.
Leona Dare is the woman who would hold like her manager by her teeth and stuff. And she was married to someone who was her teacher, and then they split up. And they were in the divorce settlement. It was who owned the rigging, and there was this big contentious divorce.
Gosh,
Mm,
they're fighting over rigging.
yeah. My rig.
Because you also the mouthpiece is just made for you. It's not like somebody else.
Yeah.
can
Well,
use
that
it.
makes sense. That really does make sense. So here we go. Watch this, folks. We've got the
Oh, that's the
human jump
Human
rope
jump
going
rope.
on. Circusharmony.org, circusharmony.org. And Jessica, give us the architecture and acrobats and the sister
Sister City
cities
Circus,
again.
which is our Peace Through Pyramids partnership with Circus Circuli from Stuttgart, Germany, and they will be here July 26th through August 9th and touring throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. Schedule coming soon, but definitely Ballpark Village on the 29th. And then the film, the first of a series, Architecture and Acrobats, which tells the story of O'Fallon and Fairground Parks, will be part of Cinema St. Louis's St. Louis Filmmaker Festival on Friday the 26th at 7:30. It's a series of films called St. Louis: An Alternative View. And now that you've heard all these tragedies and some positive things about circus as well,
Yes.
all of you should register for circus classes because we have classes for all ages, 3 through adult. The fall classes start August 26th, and we are working super hard to get the schedule up by the end of this week, if not by the beginning of next week. And at least you should come to the juggling class.
Yeah.
Right.
Jessica Hentoff, thank you very much.
I want to
for coming
see
in again.
Arnold do like the high wire. Can you guys teach him how
Sure,
to do the high wire?
absolutely. Sure. One of our alumni walks wire with the Flying Melindas. Come on
Yeah.
down.
We're gonna
You know,
teach you how
Jessica
to
was
do
trying
that.
to cajole everyone,
Cajole.
persuade them. This is our word of the
I
day.
can be
She was
very
trying to
persuasive.
cajole
Oh my.
everyone to be a part of the circus. And that's persuading to do something by sustained coaxing or flattery. Jessica was doing a great job of cajoling our listeners into becoming part of the circus.
I don't think that's the word my students would use, but
cajoling.
I can be persuasive
Yeah.
in other ways as well.
Cajoling. I like cajoling.
I'll try and be more cajoling.
Jessica's so cajoling.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah. Wow.
Are you up for a few humorous kinds of things? Or, Mark, do you have any
Oh.
days of the day?
Not really much. It's World Listening Day, which goes. Yeah. Would you hear? What'd you say? Yep. It's World.
Appropriate for a radio show.
I thought so too. National Sour Candy Day,
Hmm.
Perfect Family Day. Who has one of those? I want.
It's Perfect Family Day.
Yes, it's National
I didn't
Perfect
know there
Family
was
Day.
one.
Okay.
Okay, I know. It's National Perfect
I'll tell
Family.
my children.
You need to tell somebody that. National Daiquiri Day. That's
That goes with the.
yeah, that goes with that's
The
how you
perfect
get a
family.
perfect family is it by daiquiris.
Could be.
And
Uh-huh.
the sour candy. Did you know they have Sour Patch Oreos now?
No,
But what I'm
I
really
didn't.
salty about, and salty is the wrong word in this case, but in Australia, they now have coffee Doritos. I need coffee
Oh
Doritos.
my,
Mm.
yes, we
Because
all
you know I love coffee. We sell Defy Gravity
Right,
coffee
right,
as a
right.
fundraiser.
Coffee
and it's
Dorito.
delicious.
Oh wow, I think
But only 300 Australians can win them.
You have to win them?
Yes.
what?
So I've asked my friends in Australia to win them and send them to
yeah,
Wow.
Just
Never heard of that.
playing the guilt card.
Wow.
other
Friends,
friendship card. I have circus friends
Friendship,
in
okay, okay.
Australia.
She's cajoling them.
I think-
cajoling them, exactly.
Cajoling them.
Anyway, what else? What
Okay,
are
what do
the
you-
other days?
No, there's more, but go ahead. What do you have? There?
Nothing brings neighbors together quite like police cars in front of another neighbor's house.
You're about right. Yeah.
Mhm.
There is a reason why some people are not in your life anymore.
Why is that?
Sometimes you need to stop seeing the good in people and start seeing what they show you.
Ooh.
Are we getting political now?
These are like mindful mavens. Sometimes their behavior is the answer you need.
Mhm.
Mm.
Moments become memories and people become lessons. That's life. Mm.
Mhm.
If you can make someone's day, you should.
We make every day a circus day. Does that
Yes.
count?
See,
How about
there-
you like this one? The pessimist complains about the wind. The optimist expects it to change. The realist adjusts the sails.
And you will receive some parting gifts from us. Thank you so very much.
Where did that come from?
A man
I
who
know.
is a master of patience is master of everything else.
No, sorry.
That was a good one.
No.
Once you carry your own water, you will learn the value of every drop. That's a good one.
That's true.
Let's see here. I don't understand how a cemetery can raise its funeral prices and blame it on the cost of living.
Wait one more time. Okay.
My ducks are absolutely not in a row. I don't even know where some of them are, and I'm pretty sure one of them is a pigeon.
Or a rooster.
Where's that horse?
I don't know. Where's that horse?
All right, let's see
There's a
here.
horse. We need to
Uh,
name that horse.
let's see here.
It has no name.
The no-name horse. All right.
It's a horse with no name.
So here's
Play
Oh,
the music.
America.
There
Okay.
you go.
my wife called to tell me she saw a fox on the way to work. I asked her how she knew it was on its way to work. She hung up on me.
An attaché case.
When your children are teenagers, it's important to have a dog so that someone in the house is happy to see you.
Yeah, that'd be it. We're cutting you off.
Well, folks, that's it for us on this particular show. We thank you for listening. And if you've enjoyed this episode, you can listen to additional shows at stlintune.com. Consider leaving a review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, or your preferred podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and continue to grow. I want to thank Bob Berthasell for our theme music, co-host Mark Langston right there, and we thank you for being a part of our community of curious minds. St. Louis in Tune is a production of Motif Media Group and the U.S. Radio Network. Remember to keep seeking, keep learning, walk worthy, and let your light shine. For St. Louis in Tune, I'm Arnold Stricker.